The op-eds, or certainly the first part anyway, will be more about what is the trust, what is the People's Club. Because certain people are having certain doubts. But for those who are questioning, the People's Club is nothing to do with Kim or the trust. The $1 or more program is nothing to do with Kim or the trust either. Both were my creations or ideas, although Kim did help with the setting up and the paperwork to creating the People's Club. Kim is not involved in the People's Club at all. The People's Club is about us all looking after ourselves and stepping forward in service to others, not the self. Now, Kim has said she will provide project funds for the People's Club and also to create change and other people doing lead projects around the world. And that is the top and bottom line of her input into the People's Club. Kim works for the trust, the same trust that not one of these miscreants bothered to ask a single question about or demand certain proofs of the previous trustee. Not a single question. Kim to date, despite having worked for the trust for 7 years, has received no pay for doing so. It's a funny scam, that. Kim is not obligated or here to provide proof to anybody. She's not selling anything. What is there to sell? It is a private establishment that is actually not connected to any country, and that is why previously it was called the Unknown Country. And I will ask the question again so people grasp it. What is Kim selling? If the trust closes its doors for the next 495 years, which it can do, what does that change for you? If you say it changes everything, then you haven't gone into thinking and acting different, have you? Perhaps you saw it as another handout program, something you didn't have to participate in too much. The trust and its workings in real terms is nothing to do with handing out pieces of paper with numbers on. Money might be your God, but it's certainly not Kim or I's. Kim, 7 years, no pay. Me, 4 years, no pay. And yet, we are scammers. I would ask all who listen to this, would you work on something for 4 to 7 years with no pay? Or whilst taking a barrage of abuse? Whilst all your friends, family and love partners are taken away from you in the same process, would you do it? I and a few others have built our own trust in essence, the People's Trust, called the People's Club. And we have gone with the $1 or more recently, which has more value for and by the people. One where all contribute and participate, or the one where people hold their hand out. So Kim is not selling anything. And yet is asked for proof of selling nothing. These people actually understand what they're saying. Evidence points to no, they don't. Do any of those people ask any other company to provide details of their proof, their financials, who they are sleeping with? Are they a scammer? Are they homeless? Or are they in poverty? No. People don't even question their own doctors whether they are expert enough to treat them. Never mind question other establishments. And therein lies the problem, does it not? As I said earlier, I'm humbled at the donations received into the People's Club, and it will go to good causes, even if those good causes at the time of donating turn out to be a lot more nasty than previously thought, like Madeline Neatane and Shane Bales. Both of them have received money from the People's Club and yet now call it a scam. So in essence, as Shane and Madeline have received financial gain from the People's Club, and I haven't, and they label it a scam, it is they who are the scammers, as they've received funds from the alleged scam. Oops. Like I said, these people do not think before they speak. Scam, an illegal plan for making money. And I've made zero. In fact, I've not made zero. I've actually contributed hundreds of dollars to it. A quick profit. Oops, that's not happening either. One that involves tricking people. Who's tricking who here? The person who spends hours per week running it for no compensation, or the ones who received money out of it and then call it a scam. We will carry on doing the right things and helping and supporting each other. These lowlifes who attack do so out of pure envy and their own bitterness, because they are takers, not givers. Darkness, not light. Service to self, as in Soul Tribe Sanctuary. How ironic that is. STS, service to self, not service to others. Even our other two directors will admit that 99% of the work of the TPC is all done by me. And I will continue, like the previous 3.5 years, to not take a penny out of the People's Club until the larger funds come out. My funds comes from my Patreon, which is, listen closely now, voluntary. But apparently now a voluntary donation is now considered a scam by some. And yet no one else who has a Patreon apparently is a scammer. Just me. Even if those same said accusers have Patreons themselves. It's funny that, isn't it? So Kim is nothing to do with the People's Club and has not received anything from it in terms of financial support. None. The TPC is my company and my responsibility along with my two directors. neither of which have received any funds or compensation out of it either. Yes, many of you have been disappointed in this past week by Shane the Ruiner's actions. It is sad for all to see someone to fall that far. But unbeknown to many, as I have kept quiet, Shane has done this to me privately several times for the last 4 years. Made nasty and false allegations, only to backtrack on all of them bar one, which is his envy and nastiness towards Kim. And I'm sorry. Sorry this time will not wash Shane. It just will not wash. Shane is the latest in a long line of agency-based puppets, sent out like a child's wind-up toy to rake mud. Lots of mud thrown in a desperate hope that something sticks. But nothing sticks against people operating in the truth anymore. And it's a desperate act by the clowns to disrupt the work we are doing and have done. All other attempts have failed, and this one did also. He, like those that went before him, have done untold things to both friends and family of both Kim and I, all designed to get us to quit. Shane gave it all away with his comment to me, quote, "You need to get away from Kim," unquote. These people are not very bright, and both Kim and I have seen and heard their bullshit many times before. Shane was also the direct cause of me losing my girlfriend Chloe, although she doesn't help herself too much and was not entirely guilt-free either. Not once did he do it, but twice, along with his fellow supporter Marilee Niatane. And yet despite that, I still helped him when he was struggling. I sent him a practically brand new laptop and also $200 when he was out of work for food. Since that day, Shane has never messaged me once in 15 months. Until this week. I guess gratitude is not one of his qualities either. Yet again, the case of making allegations, and yet again provides no details of proof to support said allegations. If you make allegations, the burden of proof is on the part of the person making the allegations to provide the proof of their statements. And none was forthcoming. Everyone who read that interchange between him and Kim, it's like the interchange between Kim and Anna von Reitz. Not one question did Shane answer, and neither did Anna von Reitz. Why? Because they're lying, both of them. One's Black Sun, one's Rothschild. Anyone can make a statement, but if you're going to make allegations, one would expect people to have proof. No, that's not how it works in their world. And the saddest part is Shane has gone so low as to support and join a pedophile group, which we referenced earlier, when he himself suffered so much of that abuse as a child. But apparently now it's okay to support pedophiles when it suits an agenda. Shane doesn't like Kim. He was real nasty to her back in 2005. 15, 16 time. Real nasty. And this was despite him saying to me that he had vetted her 3 times before the People's Club started. Despite also signing up as a director of the fledgling TPC as well. But then Shane, for no apparent reason, decided he had lied about vetting Kim and that the People's Club was fake, whatever that means. Then suddenly, in summer of 2016, Kim was suddenly the biatch from hell, according to Shane. And he talked Chloe into that bullshit as well, and she left me over it. History always repeats, and it did. Despite what Chloe did, I decided last year to help her again. It is what I do. Help people. And some may think that I was stupid for helping her. No, it's not. Helping people is the right thing to do. Forgiveness is the right thing to do. But Shane got involved with Chloe again recently and has now ended that partnership and my help of and for Chloe again. Just when she was doing rather well. That shit has tipped her upside down again. The problem is not helping people. The problem is the people you help turning nasty. It's not my problem. It is their problem. They are what they are. Every person who has ever been removed from the THI group, which generally involves a 4-person vote on whether members should be removed, not just one of us. And the general rule is all members misbehave and get several warnings to improve before a vote is taken. All the admins will tell you the same thing. Go and ask them. This has always been the case. So all those ex-THI in the Team Pedo group failed to control their own poor behaviour and were nasty to other members before being removed. The evidence of their continued poor behaviour is there for all to see in that group. The ethos of me and my admins go by, or try to go by, is we don't go looking for issues, we manage them when they arrive. That's what we abide by. Although some people are flagged as potential issues long before it happens, and they duly provide the evidence of such. Shane says, like he has some authority, that the trust is fake. Fine, that's his opinion. But is it? But like his pedo friends, provides no proof to support his claims that it is fake. Shane, who is a Rothschild, which he himself has stated a few times on shows, but what I knew back in 2014 following chats with him and his revealing of who and what he was, Shane is also a Draco. A reptilian. He is related to Anu, Enki, Enlil and Marduk. Ain't that right, Enkidnu? Same family line, all his words, not mine. And yet, despite knowing that, I still worked on a plan with him to try and make peace between the two species for the future. I thought it would be of tremendous value until Shane shape-shifted metaphorically and brought out all the worst traits of his brethren. But apparently Rothschilds don't talk to each other, and Shane appears totally out of the loop, or maybe he's in the loop. A 4-year loop given his comments this week. And one wonders at times at this point if it is Shane at all, and not some agency-based goon. So the trust in Kim is fake, says Shane. Any proof? It's fake, so no proof then. When asked to explain why the third lead Rothschild asked Kim for funds in November, we got crickets. Why would the Rothschild ask for funds from an alleged, according to Shane, a homeless person with no money? Does that make any sense? And if you're going to make a statement she is allegedly homeless with no money, please explain how you can turn around and say she is scamming people. Again, does that make any sense? And why did the lead Rothschild say to Kim it would be better, quote, if you hand over the trust back to us and you quit? And that was just last week. But according to Mr. I am the authority figure on this, Shane Rothschilds, it's all fake. And he clearly has no clue of anything that is going on. And someone needs to tell him it's the year 2020 now, not 2016. His relevance is not what it was. He hops in and out of the alt media like some high school dropout. Comes back, talks shit, and expects people to believe him because he is the great Shane Bales, Sadore, Rothschilds. And because he didn't get his own way and was asked for him to provide proof, he then gets nasty. And he stated 4 times to me he was going to do physical damage to me and offering me to fight and threaten me. I'm sorry, Shane, I don't do violence. And I certainly don't wish to engage with someone who has clearly lost their mental faculties. I waited 4 years for Shane, for the public to see your true colours. Now they do. May your Lord, God and King bless you the way you bless others.